Alrighty. I wanted to give my 2 cents on this situation because you know what? The Montreal Screwjob is such a huge debate on who is right and who is wrong. Personally, I don't think there was no right or wrong to the situation. I don't think no one's going to ever get the bottom line to what really happened and to like whose fault is it. Everyone's to blame, in my opinion. Everyone's to blame, really. Like, honestly, I think that the one situation that caused this whole thing to happen was when Medusa went to WCW with the WWF Women's Championship and threw it in a garbage can. That catapulted what happened in Montreal, I think. And a lot of people don't see it like that. A lot of people don't really talk about that, but I really think that was a catalyst to what happened in Montreal. Now, we can all say Vince was wrong, Brett was wrong, Shawn was wrong. Personally, I saw this documentary back in 1998. It was a documentary called Hitman, Hart, Wrestling with Shadows, and it documented Bret Hart's career back in 1997, and this had an in-depth look of what happened backstage at Montreal. It was really good. Like, after the match was over, you know, Bret Hart went into the locker room and asked Shawn Michaels point blank to his face, "Did you know about this?" And Shawn Michaels said no, he didn't. Now, it was well documented that Shawn Michaels was an asshole back then. I love Shawn Michaels. I'm a huge mark for him. But yeah, he was an asshole back then. And Bret Hart wasn't that good of a person either. So it's hard to blame one single person. I feel like the Canadian fans, they really seriously need to get over this. I mean, 10 years it happened ago. 10 years ago. And yet people still want to dwell on this situation. It's like enough is enough. But I don't know, like, I think, I have a friend that actually lives in like Toronto, and he told me he saw like a couple of house shows when Shawn Michaels and Triple H was DX again, and they went back over there, and Shawn Michaels actually got cheered. So maybe like the Canadian fans are starting to get over a little bit. I think with Bret Hart getting inducted to the Hall of Fame, that really helps smooth things out a little bit. But I still think it's petty of Bret Hart to not want to forgive Shawn Michaels. I mean, he can forgive Vince McMahon of all people. Why can't you forgive Shawn Michaels? But like Shawn Michaels to have to leave the Hall of Fame ceremony when Bret Hart got his award was stupid. And then for Bret Hart to not even make it to WrestleMania to make that appearance was really sad, you know? And hopefully one day Bret Hart will forgive him. I don't think it ever will happen, but it will be nice to see Bret Hart forgive Shawn Michaels. There's just no wrong or right to the situation, I feel. I mean, everyone could state their opinions on it. Everyone has their own take of what they feel like happened, but there's no wrong or right, and I don't think it ever will be. It's just it's sad, you know. I feel like, you know, Vince could have done it in a better situation, but Bret Hart had no choice but to drop the title. You know, he couldn't, like, his whole thing was he didn't want to lose it in front of his Canadian fans. Fine, but business is business. Like, what they expect for him to do, win the match and then drop the title on Raw? Like, Vince couldn't take that chance because of what happened with Medusa. He couldn't take that chance. He didn't know if Bret would do that, the same thing that Medusa did. And I gotta say, you know, I love Medusa. I'm a huge Medusa fan, and to this day, Vince McMahon still don't want to forgive her. I mean, she called him. She tried to apologize. He don't want to hear it. She tried to come out with a greatest DVD matches of all her matches, and she tried to get WWF footage, and he refused to give her any footage of her matches in WWF. So it's sad that he can't forgive her, but yeah, he can forgive all, like a lot of other people, like Hulk Hogan, who tried to screw him over plenty of times, and Hall and Nash. That's just off topic right there. I still believe that this whole situation is a big mess. I mean, if no one's going to ever come to a conclusion to why the screw job happened to begin with, nobody will never know the real reason to it. For me personally, I just think it's business. It's business, and Bret Hart should have did what he had to do. But no one's Bret Hart. No one can decide what he was going through, you know? There's so many factors to the situation that we're never going to get the right answer to it. Everyone will always have their own opinions, basically. So that's what I wanted to say about it. You know, I personally feel like I can't really take no one's side on it. Sometimes I kind of take Vince's side, but I don't really want to. But I still feel business is business, and Bret had to do what was best for the business, and Vince had to do what was best for the business. And whether you liked it or not, it happened. But I still feel like it happened 10 years ago, and people need to get over this by now. 10 years ago is a long fucking time. It's time to move on. And I hope the Canadian fans can really ease their way out of this. Now that Bret Hart's in the Hall of Fame, now that they see that Bret Hart kind of forgive Vince McMahon with what happened. So if Bret Hart forgive Vince McMahon, the Canadian fans should forgive Vince McMahon and move on, you know? So that's what I wanted to say. Take it easy.